All right, it is almost 20 minutes before 8 here on the program, the 12th of April. It is our president's birthday today, believe it or not. So it's a very happy birthday to President Jacob Zuma, celebrating his birthday on this day. All right, today the Pretoria High Court will hear the appeal made by the Minister of Justice and Correctional Department, Advocate Michael Masutha, on the judgment delivered by the Gauteng Division of the High Court last month to grant parole to Janus Walus. Now, Walus was sentenced to life imprisonment for the killing of Chris Hani 23 years ago. And you saw the anniversary commemorations taking place this weekend, the 23-year commemoration. Now, for more on the story, we will be crossing, or we're going to be crossing right now, to our SABC News reporter, Tumaole Mohlaoli. He is joined by Advocate Mthunzi Mhanga, who is the spokesperson for the Department of Correctional Services. It's over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Leanne. And without further ado, we're going to speak directly to Advocate Mthunzi Mhanga. Advocate Mhanga, what exactly can we expect in court today?
You'll recall, Tumaole, that the Honourable Court had granted an order compelling Minister of Justice and Correctional Services to place Mr. Walus on parole and set parole conditions within 14 days. Now, by virtue of us having notified the court that we'll be applying for leave to appeal against that judgment, it meant that that order was automatically suspended and therefore Mr. Walus could not be released. So today there are two things that are likely to happen. One, that there will be an opportunity for us to apply for leave to appeal against that judgment. And if it's granted, we then have to proceed to file papers and a date will be set for that argument in respect of that appeal. However, there's a possibility that they will apply for him to be released pending the finalization of the appeal process, which we are going to oppose as well, because it will defeat the very purpose of us applying for leave to appeal, because we are against his release on the basis that the Honourable Court erred in the approach in which he adopted in considering the review of the decision of the minister. And also we firmly believe that there are prospects of success if another court were to be given an opportunity to approach the same matter. It would definitely approach it differently than the court earlier.
So in terms of the status of Mr. Walus, while these processes happen, is he still going to remain incarcerated behind bars, or is he going to serve his sentence as someone on parole?
Currently, there is an automatic suspension of the order that compelled minister to release him on parole by virtue of us having filed for a notice for application for leave to appeal, which is what is going to happen today, and therefore he cannot be released. But a possibility exists, and they are within their right to apply for that order to be executed, that being the placement of his parole, of him on parole whilst the application for appeal or the appeal process is underway, which I have indicated earlier that we will oppose, because we firmly believe that the Honourable Judge erred in her approach in the matter, and also that in her findings she misdirected herself in interpreting the powers of the minister and how she substituted the decision of the minister with her own.
Thank you very much for that clarity, Mr. Mhanga. That was Advocate Mthunzi Mhanga, who speaks for the Department of Justice and Correctional Services, and he was clarifying basically the position of the state in terms of opposing Janus Walus' release on bail. So this is where we stand at this particular, not on bail, I beg your pardon, on parole. So this is where it stands, not on bail, on parole. So this is where we stand at the moment. And as it stands, we expect that the court will be starting proceedings just after 9 a.m. this morning. So that gives us about an hour before the process kicks off here at the Pretoria High Court. So with that, it's back to you in the studio.
Tumaole, thank you very, very much, and we'll catch up with you again in the next hour here on the program, just talking about this application that is going to be taking place in the High Court today.